For this walk today, we're in Eskdale and we're walking down towards Dr. Bridge and Penny Hill Farm and Low Birker Farm. Just to give you an indication, as you can see over there, that's the Woolpack Inn, and then Boot is down over that way. It's a bit of a dull, miserable day, but it might brighten up later. So here's the route that we're going to do today. The area for this walk to Kepple Crag and Green Crag is in Eskdale, on the western side of the Lake District. Using the good car park on the northern side of the road at Wha House Farm, we'll go west, then over Dr. Bridge, up past Low Birker Farm, up to the Peat Hut, and before we get to Birker Town we'll head to Kepple Crag, south towards Green Crag, and then back up to Low Birker Town, and we'll then pick up the outward route to get back to the car. This good farm lane takes us down over Dr. Bridge, which crosses the River Esk. Beautiful clear waters here. That's Penny Hill, the farm ahead of us, but we're not going that way. We're going to turn right towards Low Birker Farm. So that's Low Birker Farm. That's been totally rebuilt in the last 10 or 15 years. Once you get past the farm, you're up onto the track. Don't turn right, turn left. We're now heading up one of those old peat roads. That's Harter Fell you can see over there, just with the cloud lifting off it. And this will be a steady ascent up onto the fell. It's a steady climb on the peak track as you ascend up towards Kepple Crag. The sun's just come out, there's not a breath of wind, and it's warmed up, so I've had to take my jacket off. It looks like it could be quite a good day weather-wise. Let's just see. Looking past the juniper bushes, you get a fine view back down into Eskdale. The path steepens as it zigzags up the fell side. And this is the Low Birker Peat Hut, which Wainwright draws in the Green Crag chapter. He just does a very small drawing of it. These huts are actually known as peat scales, scales being the name of a peat storage hut. And the peat was cut on the moor, on the fell, and then it was left to dry. When it was dry, it was brought down here for storage, and then taken down into the farms and the buildings for use on fires over the colder winter months. And the practice carried on till about the end of the First World War, when coal became much more easily readable in remote valleys like this. So they fell out of use. But wouldn't it be great to put a roof back on this and make it into a little bothy? Fantastic views down over the valley. And there's actually quite a few of these about in Eskdale, at least a dozen. Ruins, most of them, but some are as good as this. Anyway, let's move on. As you come to the top of that track, the path bends round to the left. And down here on the right you can hear the sound of Birker Force, but you can't see it from here. You could go down to the footpath and look down on the top of the force, but I think the best way of having a look at it is perhaps from above. At nearly 100 metres, Birker Force is one of the longest cascades in the area. It's certainly very impressive, but it's difficult to access, so this view is probably the best you'll get. Right, we're now heading in the direction of Green Crag, and that's that undulating ridge you can see in front of us, but we're not going to head directly there. Where we're heading to now is Kepple Crag, and it's that quite distinctive outcrop there, which is about 800 metres from where we are now. And because of the way we've come and the way I wanted to come up towards Green Crag, we're now going to have to cut across towards Kepple Crag, cross country. There'll be no path, it might be a bit boggy in places, and hopefully the weather will hold. But if I turn the camera around and you look over this way, look at the cloud coming in. I mean, it's fantastic, the weather changing, but you have to be aware of the changing conditions. And I think in a short period of time we're going to be caught in quite heavy rain. It's absolutely amazing to watch the cloud coming in on those hills behind us. But we'll crack on and get to Kepple Crag and we'll see how it goes from there. This section of the route is actually off-piste. There is no footpath here, and the ground is really quite boggy and mossy, so a good pair of boots are required. And we take what is almost a direct line towards the crag. The top of Green Crag is now almost totally obscured by cloud, and we ascend a grassy rake to get up to the top of Kepple Crag. It had started to rain, so I decided to put my jacket on. But let's talk about why we're actually here. Kepple Crag was one of those fells which Wainwright listed when he was putting together the idea of the pictorial guides, but it never made the final cut. So we're going here just for a look and add it to my list of the Lakeland 365. Kepple Crag is on other hill lists, but of course it's not an official Wainwright. To the south it's now looking rather murky, and the rain is starting to fall. There are two distinct tops on Kepple Crag.
and we're going to head to the westerly one first. This top is quite rough, with quite a few rock outcrops protruding from the grass. And it has fine views down over the moss that we've just crossed on our way here. And this would have been Wainwright's top. He had it listed at 1,062 feet, and it was the only marked height on this crag at the time. This top is marked by a small cairn, some very old mossy stones piled on a ridge of rock. About 20 metres to the west of the summit cairn is this lovely old erratic boulder, covered in lichen and mosses. Down in the valley behind the rock is a tarn, but it's not named or even marked on a map.
I've just grabbed myself something to eat here up on top of Kepple Crag, and I was hoping that the weather might show signs of clearing a bit, but not a bit of it. If anything, it's got worse. There's hardly anything to see. There's like this drizzly mizzle almost in the air, and the clouds are low. Harter over there is almost obscured. And for me as an artist and photographer, I don't think there's anything to be gained by walking on and spending my time tramping over the fells that I've done already in the hope that something's going to develop. So I'm going to cut this walk short, and I'm going to head down to the east, pick up the path by the gill, head down on the good path down to Pennyhill Farm, which we can see down below us there, and then back to the start. It's a shame, but I'm not doing this just to tick off the Wainwright fells. I've done that already. I'm here to explore and look for interesting locations for paintings and sketches. But I'm not disappointed. Day out in the fresh air, experience, been to the top of a new little fell, and all in all, a good way to spend a couple of hours. On we go.
We're now going to head east to the true highest point of Kepple Crag. It's about 150 metres away over rough ground. There is nothing to mark the highest point. This is the spot height of 328 metres. From here, we're going to descend northeast to pick up the gill that runs down towards the Esk. And a look back to the west to the other top of Kepple Crag, where we were earlier. I always take time to have a look at these strange features on these fells, like this split boulder. Looks like it's ready to fall. But I'm sure it'll still be there long after we've all gone. The footpath here follows the wall on its south side, and then we go through a gate, and a good track takes us down towards Penny Hill. Many routes that I take now remind me of my long episode of being out for the Wainwrights in colour, and this place brings back a really good memory because I did a painting of Harter Fell 1 in Wainwright's pictorial guide. And we carry on towards Penny Hill. Penny Hill's a classic Lakeland farmhouse.
Having left Penny Hill Farm behind us, we're now almost at Dr. Bridge and back at the car. Now, it certainly wasn't the route that I intended to do this morning when we set out, but with the weather, we cut it short. Seasoned walkers would have just gone ahead and done Green Crag and Harter Fell, but I have other things to do, like filming, maybe a bit of sketching and taking some photographs. And I don't see any problem with me cutting short the route that I intended. They're there for another day, but at least I've got Kepple Crag documented as part of the Lakeland 364, so I can go back to the studio and do some work on that. Despite it being a much shorter film than planned, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please click the like button, that'll be good of you, and even better, subscribe to my channel. But as ever, thanks for watching.